Hi guys, just a very quick one here. Down here I've got a Seiko genuine parts package, inside of which is this powder. Now the reason I'm doing this is I posted a picture on one of the watch groups and I had numerous people with sort of shocked responses saying, "Oh, that's terrible, has it corroded inside the packet, what's going on, etc, etc, and what's, and you should send it back," and all kinds of things. Now, I'm not remotely worried because I've had numerous new old stock Seiko parts arrive in packages like this with powder like this. And my suspicion is that this is some kind of desiccant powder. Now, bearing in mind, in the 70s, this is for a 6138, and it's a centre wheel and cannon pinion. Now, bearing in mind, in the 70s, when parts were, for these watches, were plentiful and shipped all around the world, and lots of them, lots of these parts would be kept in stock for a long period of time. And it does leave a little bit of residue on the actual part itself, which if you compare, oops, let's move that out of the way. If you compare this, which is the new replacement part, to this, which is the old and damaged one, which you can probably just make out, if I can get it to, whoops, stay still. Over here we've got quite a gouge on the wheel, and one of the teeth is damaged. It's hard to see on here, but it is. But yeah, you can see the colour difference there, and this is partly because it's obviously new, unused, but partly because of the powder that's on there. This will be cleaned before use, and it's a simple matter of giving it a quick swish in isopropyl alcohol or similar. This is something I do with all new parts regardless. Some people just whip a new part out of the packet. You can see again little bits of powder residue on the new cannon pinion there. Some people will whip a new part out of the packet and just hurl it onto the movement and off they go. I always clean new parts because you just never know. It's for the short amount of time it takes to clean it, it's just not worth risking. But what I'm going to do here is I've got some ordinary tap water, and this is partly because my own curiosity. I want to see if trying to get some on my mat. That's typical. If you want to get some on your mat, it just won't comply. There we go. We've got a little spot of it on the mat. Nice. And I'm just going to sprinkle some of this powder on and see what happens, because I'm curious. As I say, my suspicion is that this is in fact some kind of desiccant to counteract any possible moisture building up. Now, bearing in mind a shipping container, if you've got parts in a shipping container for a month, there's huge, especially if they're up on deck on a ship, there are tremendous, I'm going to wipe some of that away because that's more water than I need. There are tremendous amounts of heat fluctuations, and even just in storage generally. So I suspect that that's the idea of this. So I am going to take, using a screwdriver, let's try and get a slightly larger screwdriver actually. I'm going to take a scoop of this powder. It's like a chemistry lesson, isn't it exciting? And we're going to drop it onto that and see what it does. I think I maybe put more than I should have done on there, but it does seem, as you can see, to have completely lifted that moisture, and it's coagulated ever so slightly. It's still powdery, you can still see the powderiness of it, but it has coagulated ever so slightly. I'm just going to put another little drop of water right there. And we'll sort of scoop this in. And yes, indeed, as you can see, it's kind of coagulated into a blob, but what it has done is soaked up that water. So it is indeed, as suspected, a desiccant of some description, and that was, to my mind, the only logical assumption. It's not a bad thing at all. I mean, good on Seiko for thinking of things like this, and a big thumbs up to them from me, certainly, for that one. Let's just clean the tips of my screwdrivers. Don't want little crumbs of powder getting into things, and likewise with my tweezers. Good old Rodico. There we go. So yes, there you go. It's if you happen across a new old stock Seiko parts packet which has dubious looking powder inside, it is not a Seiko part from Bolivia trying to bypass countries' borders and laws. It is in fact a good old 1970s Seiko desiccant powder to protect your original Seiko parts from moisture damage and corrosion. So hope this was useful. Thanks for watching.